Okay, next mods. I'm still working on finishing all the rims, but next mod is the new wing. Now, for those that know me, know I don't like stuff that other people have. So nothing's exactly as it comes. So the mods on it are gonna be starting now. And the cutting has begun. It's gonna be cool. Hey guys and gals, I'm actually at a point now where I'm modifying my aftermarket rear spoiler for my 95 Mustang convertible. I don't like my cars to look like other cars. I like it to be like, you know, my own. And on these aftermarket spoilers, they always use the mount. This one brings out a tip. You've probably seen them before if you're into Mustangs. They'll use this factory holes for the factory spoiler. I don't like that look, and I want mine to be different, and I don't mind putting in the extra work. So this is how I'm modifying mine. What I've done now, there's 100 different ways of doing this. There's easier ways and longer ways and this and that. I'm doing it kind of midway, the way I want to do it. First of all, I cut off these extensions, which are in the photo at the front of the video, and then I basically just made a flat sheet of 2 layers of cloth, so it'd be semi-flexible, and cut that out. And then what I did is I heated up half of it because I needed to, and then with a heat gun, and then I kind of rolled it around the rod to kind of get the shape. We're going to body fill this in anyway. And so how this is going to work, I made it so there's just a bit of a spring pressure in there, and I don't know if I can do it with one hand, which I probably can't, but this just squeezes in. Maybe I can do it from one edge to the other. There we go. Almost. Come on, get in there. Get in there. All right, you're going to fight me on this. But basically, I will just slide that section in so it kind of matches the front leading edge here, just behind it, because you'll need body filler. Or some guys want to use fiberglass, which is fine. That's just a lot more work. So I just write just a little bit, maybe a 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch, something inside, so you'll have some room to put the body filler in. And then what I'm going to do, once I get a position in there, I'm just going to put some super glue in to lock this piece in, and then I'll start the body work on it. So and then after that, when I'm ready to mount it, I'm just going to add some other mounting holes and drill them in the trunk lid. So, but this is one modification that if you decide to do something like this, this is how I did it. But kind of gives you an idea. This thing's kind of funky because they used a ton of glue, bodywork, Bondo maybe, I don't know, in between the fiberglass pieces. But so it's going to look different. I'm going to like it a lot better than the other ones because it is different, and it will be different. So there we go, peoples. Yeah, and this is the next step. As you can see, I got it in there. Now it's super glued. I did a quick 400 sanding to make sure everything sticks just fine, but you can see I just have the edge just below the actual part, and that way I'll give a little bit of room for the body filler. So next is the body filler, but that's kind of what the backing looks like. I don't know, you could probably use some heavy cardboard or something if you wanted to, or some guys would make a mold off of this part so they can make a part to put on that, which is a lot of work. So this will be strong and it's quick. Okay, guys and gals, I've got the first filler coat and I've already cut the cheese. There's a lot of videos on how to use a cheese grater on body filler. Basically, you can see little wormies down there, or gratings. What you do, this is a fill layer, so it doesn't have to be right yet. You kind of have to wait till it's kind of rubbery, and then you take your cheese grater and kind of run it on it. And if it balls up, it's too soft. But if it starts making these little grates, then that's great. You just kind of, you don't want to go too deep. You just want to kind of clean up all the high edges kind of deal. So it makes sanding a lot easier. So like I said, there's a lot of videos on how to do that. It's not a big deal. It's just like grating cheese. So that's the first coat, filler coat. So another coat to go. Maybe two. Who knows? Okay, second layer of body filler is on. Amazon was good enough to send me a free sanding block. Be creative, people. You don't have to spend tons of money on this kind of stuff. Now, I'm just using 80 grit here. One thing about this kind of thing is that it's kind of hard to follow the line here because it's so wide. So what you kind of have to do is kind of come off each side and kind of follow the line it's giving you. You can see where the sanding marks are. You can kind of follow that. And then you can feel, I mean, it takes a while to figure that out, but you do each section. I've got a DA that'll go faster, but this is kind of funky. So the way it's set up, so I'm just going to hand block sand it. So this is just as boring as can be to watch, because I've watched a bunch of bodybuilding. Yeah, bodybuilding. A bunch of bodywork videos, because I've been doing bodywork for a long time, but it's always good to learn. So I'm not going to take up any more time here. This is just kind of giving you an idea. You can also use a sander, a DA sander, palm sander, to cut this down. I've got one of those, but I just want to make sure this is right. So that's kind of it for this section. We'll take a look and see what it looks like in a bit. All right, next step. It only took 2 layers of filler. As you can see, you always have voids, bubbles, things like that. And what you use, we call it feather fill. It's very fine body filler. If you're going to do a whole car or have a lot of it to do, buy it by the quart. It's a whole lot cheaper. It's not cheap, but it's a whole lot cheaper. But this is such a small area and stuff. I just grabbed some of the, they call it glazing putty. And it's a 2-part. You always want the 2-part for this stuff. The very minor stuff, you can just use the red primer stuff, which is fine. But this is what I use. I hope it focuses. I don't know. But that's for that. So I'm going to mix some of that up to fill these little voids. Underneath it's kind of messy, so I'm going to put some underneath there to fill in any voids and bubbles, things like that. So that's basically the next step. All right, guys, I've got the feather fill on. Now I know it looks like I've gone way backwards here because it was looking a lot better. But as I said, the feather fill is very fine body filler, so it sands very quickly. So this is my Amazon free sanding block, and I'm using 150 wet dry because it's just rough enough to take up what you want. Don't need to bear down on it a whole lot. This stuff just comes off really easy, as you can see. Again, just try to follow the lines of the part. Now this is kind of where a lot of guys that haven't ever done body work or haven't done a lot, they kind of this is kind of where they go wrong. I'm sure you've seen body work somewhere on a car where you can actually see where they've used body fill, because it's like wavy, or you can see where it's lower or whatever. That comes from the body filler just sanding faster than metal. Now this is fiberglass, it's primered, so it's not near as important on this stuff. But what you want to do when you're working with metal is that you want your body work to be just a little bit high, not quite where it should be, and then you're gonna build up with primer filler. And when you're sanding there, it's going to show you when you get to the metal part, and that way you don't end up with a low part there. So when I do this too, I'll probably leave this a little bit high. I've been doing body work forever, but it's still just a good way to see where you're at as far as sanding goes, so you don't get a low spot. So I'm not bearing down. But and this stuff goes away really quickly. Back to match it up. This here. So I'll be doing some sanding here. It's not going to take too long, but it's not that exciting to watch. So I'm just going to stop the video here until we're to the next step. See ya. Okay, I hope you can see the slight color difference. That was only a few minutes of sanding, so you can see this is the lighter stuff and the regular filler. So now I've just got the sandable filler, and here we go. Flip this up a bit. I like to let that, still see? Let that set for a bit, and then give it another good coat. And then that way we're filling, and we're also have enough primer to see through while we're sanding, to kind of meld, because this is two different shapes. This is rounder, this has a lip, so it kind of, you can see as you're melding the two together, which is kind of not a lot of fun to do, but that's just part of it. So that's the next step. Well, guys and gals, on this balmy southwestern 102-degree weather day, it's hot. Well, I'm pretty close to having this guy finished. I have some minor imperfections to fill. Other than that, I've got my first coat of filler primer on there. Got all the body work done, like I said, except for some just minor imperfection fills. But I think she's going to look really good. Like I said, I don't like it to be the same kind of off-the-shelf kind of spoiler or whatever. So I got rid of the teats, as they call it, for the stalkers. I'll just add some bolt holes through the trunk, to secure it. Probably even better than the lousy screws they put in to put it on there. But I think this is going to look sharp. But hopefully, I hope this helps somebody if they decide to do something different and they're working with fiberglass. I hope this kind of helps out. And I guess I'm just going to say I'm burning up. I'm going inside to the air conditioning, and that's all, folks.